Dear grade 12 students, welcome to today's English lesson. This is reading 5A part 1. Let's get started. There are two objectives to consider for today's lesson. The first one has to do with responding to opinion questions, while the second one has to do with analyzing information in a text. Now, I want you to open your books on page 68. This is exercise A. Take some time to read the question and answer. Please pause the video now. Well, the question is asking you about the jobs that will no longer be needed in the future because of the advances in technology. So, can you think of any? Well, waiters might no longer be needed in the future because robots will carry out waiters' jobs in a more efficient way. Robots will be able to take and deliver orders without making mistakes, and robots will not drop things on people. Postal workers might not be needed in the future because everyone today is using emails and video chatting, so maybe postal workers will disappear in the future. And finally, since everyone is using online resources to find information, maybe more and more libraries will be closing in the future, and therefore librarians might disappear in the future. Moving on to question 2, exercise A. We have 4 occupations, 4 jobs. I want you to think about the way technology will be changing these jobs in the near future. Please pause the video to answer. Well, who is an architect? Do you know? Excellent. An architect is a person who designs buildings and houses. So how do you think technology will change an architect's job? Well, maybe architects will need to design smart homes. These homes need to be environmentally friendly, and they need to be able to carry out tasks automatically. Moving on to the second job, farmers. Well, how do you think technology will change a farmer's job in the near future? Well, maybe farmers will need to learn how to establish farms in urban areas. And by urban areas, I mean areas in cities. And maybe again, farmers will need to know how to use technology in making farming sustainable. And by sustainable, I mean going on for a longer periods of time. Moving on to doctors. How do you think technology will change a doctor's job? Well, maybe doctors will rely more on robots when it comes to performing surgery. This can be because robots will be able to be more precise, more accurate when carrying out surgeries. Our last job to consider is a police officer's job. How can technology change this job in the future? Okay, cameras in public places will provide police officers with a lot of data that will help them solve crimes in more efficient ways. Moving on to exercise B, I want you to take some time to read the question and answer. Please pause the video now. Well, as you know, the text is about 3 jobs that could exist in the future. What do you think people will do in these jobs? So let's see. An ethics officer, but before we discuss that, what do we mean by the word ethics? Okay, ethics are a set of beliefs of what is morally correct and wrong. So, an ethics officer will make sure that companies are behaving in a responsible and ethical way. And again, by that we mean they are following what is morally accepted. Moving on to a machine personality designer, and he will be giving robots friendly personalities so that robots interact with human beings in a friendly way. And finally, a creator of custom body parts will create, will design, will make new body parts using the patient's own stem cells. Now, I want you to take some time to read the questions and answer. Please pause the video now. Well, the jobs that society needs are constantly changing because technology is constantly developing. Moving on, young people must think about their study choices because today's job might disappear in the future. And finally, can you tell me what soft skills are? Wonderful. They are characteristics like teamwork, creativity, and these characteristics allow workers to work well in the different situations. Well, now you know that the text is dealing with 3 jobs that could exist in the future. What I want you to do is underline the requirements of each of the 3 jobs. Please pause the video to answer. Well, an ethics officer needs education in business. What else? Sustainability, knowledge about philosophy, strong analytical and critical thinking skills, and finally, ability to communicate clearly with others. Excellent. Moving on to the machine personality designer's job, and he needs knowledge about brand marketing, sociology, machine learning, He needs to have original ideas, and he needs to pay attention to detail. He needs to be of good communication skills, and finally, he needs knowledge about emotional intelligence. And finally, a creator of custom body parts. He needs a degree in biomedical engineering. He needs knowledge about background in 3D printing technology. He must be of great attention to detail. Problem solving and organization skills are needed. Strong self-motivation is needed in a creator of custom body parts. Moving on to exercise C. There are 7 statements. What I want you to do is decide whether the statement agrees with the views of the writer, then you write Y, yes. If the statement contradicts the writer's views, you write N, no. If the piece of information is not mentioned in the text, you write NG, not given. Please pause the video and answer the questions. Well, this is statement 1. This part from the text will help you answer the question. Well, statement 1 goes like, because of advances in technology, humans have already lost their jobs in several fields. So what do you think? Okay. Technology has taken over many parts in our lives, and a lot of jobs that were once done by humans are now carried out by the machines. So yes, some people have already lost their jobs, and this makes statement 1 a yes. Moving on to question 2, and it goes like, in the future, better paying jobs will require knowledge in more than one field of study. So, what do you think? This extract will help you answer the question. Careers experts warn that high-wage jobs has the same meaning as better paying jobs. In the future of the future. Okay, so high-wage jobs of the future will require workers to be more flexible. Focus on interdisciplinary studies that combine knowledge from many different disciplines. So, more than one field of study. And this makes statement 2 excellent. Statement 2 is a yes. It agrees with the writer's opinion. Moving on to question 3. Every company will need to have an ethics officer in the future. This part will help you decide on the answer. Head of Human Resources at a manufacturing company, Samantha Jane, said that if there was one thing she had seen companies focus on in recent years, it was ethics. So companies focus on ethics, but it is not necessarily that companies will be required to have an ethics officer. So they're focusing on the fact that ethics are important, but this doesn't mean that they will be obliged to have an ethics officer. So this makes the statement not given. Moving on to statement 4. An ethics officer's job will focus on making sure employees behave correctly. This extract will help you respond to the question. It could include finding ways to improve working conditions for employees, or ensuring that goods and products are produced in a sustainable way. So an ethics officer's job is not to monitor employees' behavior, but it's more of improving employees' working conditions and ensuring that products are produced in a sustainable way. And this makes a sentence for a no. Moving on to statement 5, and it goes like: people involved in designing AI personalities, artificial intelligence personalities, will have to study how people behave. Before we respond to this question, I want you to tell me the meaning of implied. What does the word implied mean? Well, if the meaning is implied, it is not mentioned in a direct way, but if we have an idea that is explicit, so it is stated directly. To answer this question, I want you to read this extract. The role will require knowledge of many different fields, such as brand marketing, sociology, and machine learning. Do you know what sociology is? Sociology is the study of the relationships between people living in a group, which means how people behave. So the meaning of this statement is implied in this part, and this makes statement 5 a yes. This is statement 6, and researchers have already managed to grow new organs using stem cells. This part will help you respond to the question. We don't have any proof in this extract, and this makes statement 6 not given. Moving on to statement 7, creating custom body parts will require experience dealing with people who have been in accidents. We don't have any clue to support or deny this statement, and again it makes the statement not given. This is the end of today's reading lesson. Thanks for watching, and remember, this video will always be available on Microsoft Teams for you to watch at any time.